right, so tonight I'll wait for more people to get in here before we really jump into it. But I'll just go over a few things. We're gonna be talking about the turbo versus supercharger debate. I know you guys have asked for that, so we'll go ahead and we'll do that. Um, I'm not. This is a dark hole we're gonna go down with this one because people know exactly how I feel about it. Obviously, I'm a turbo guy. Um, so there's that. And I know a lot of people are supercharger guys, and people that I made the comments about the Hellcat. The comments made about the Hellcat last night. People didn't take that too kindly, which I don't understand really why. Um, but I mean, we're all here. It's it's cars, man. Everybody's gonna have their opinions on different cars. But we'll go ahead and get started then. Before we get into the turbo versus supercharger debate, I want to answer this one question, which is my top three favorite. Which last night I already answered the first one, which is obviously a Viper, 97 GTS Viper is obviously my favorite. What's up, Maryland Spotter? How you doing? Um, so that's obviously my all-time favorite car. I think that car is timeless. It's iconic. You can't beat it. It's it's amazing. Everything about that car is amazing. Um, Moving on to number two. This car is kind of like one like I don't know if I'll ever achieve this goal. I hope I do. I really hope I get to this point. But that is a uh, Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. After seeing Savage Garages in person, their SVJ, the sound, how fast it is just it's nuts. I mean, obviously the doors go up. Everybody loves Lambo doors. So that's another big thing. Uh, Lambo doors are awesome, but I don't know if I'll be able to reach that. The car's like 500 grand, something like that, or probably more. So I don't even look because I don't have that kind of money right now. One day I'll get it. I'm 99% sure one day I'll have one, but we'll see. Um, Another question I got asked. I don't think this person's in here yet, but a person wanted me to go over what I thought about the new Toyota Supra. Um, that the new Supra is different to me. In my opinion, the Mark IV Supra uh, is I mean that's an iconic car. I mean when you think of Supra, um, the you think of Fast and Furious, you think of wild car, turbo screaming, just pure fast JDM car. That's what you think. Um, which it's really kind of weird because the new Supra, I think they killed Supras with the new one. Granted, they're still cool looking. I get that. They partner with BMW, which everyone says, oh, it's just a BMW car now. It's not really a Supra. Um, but, I mean, it's cool looking. If you guys have seen TJ Hunt started a company called Street Hunter, they do wide body kits. The Street Hunter wide body kits they're perfect. Um, I love them. I love the look of it. I'm not a big wide body guy, but the way that kit fits on that car, it makes it look 20 times better than it does from the factory. So I I would I would own a Supra, the new Supras. I would own one if I mean I found like a really good deal on it because it's still a Supra. Um, Once you tune that car, those things are. I mean, it's a JDM. It's a car meant to be tuned. That's the whole point. You can have it stock and it'll be okay, but you can tune it and it becomes a whole nother animal. That's why the Mark IV was such a big hit because stock everybody thinks Mark IV Supra's stock had like 1,000 horsepower. That's not true. That's not true. They were not that fast, but they were tunable. You can throw a ton of boost at it and it takes it and goes, which is awesome. That's why everybody loves them. Mark Five. I'm not sure how much boost it can take. It hasn't really been that envelope hasn't been pushed too much yet, but we're gonna find out. And I'm super excited. I have a few friends that have them, and they're going to see how far they can stretch the legs of that car, which I can't wait. I'll be filming it. It'll go up on my YouTube channel so you guys can all see it. It'll be on the Instagram as well. Well, when I release the videos, I'll put it on the Instagram, so you guys can go check it out. Um, Obviously, the full videos will be on YouTube, not Instagram, because no one wants to watch a 10-minute long Instagram video. That's crazy. Um, the only time I watch longer than a minute Instagram video is when I'm watching lives. Which I think live streaming is awesome just because you get to connect with the people that actually enjoy your content and you get to see what they like and answer the questions that people have about what you do and what I do. So I love that. Um, I don't think I answered a third car. I think I only did two. I did the 97 Viper and I did the SVJ. The third one, the third one's kind of a tricky question. Um, because like obviously cars are gonna be evolving and new cars are gonna come out. So if I'm not picking something new, I'm gonna go old school. And this car, in my opinion, is the most iconic car in the world, in my opinion. Especially in America, is a Dodge Charger. Specifically, I believe it's a 70s Charger, the Dukes of Hazzard Charger. I absolutely love that car. That car, I mean, growing up watching Dukes of Hazzard, and like if I could have that, I mean, of course, if you have it, you got to jump it. You got to do all the stuff they did in the movies. But those cars are so rare to find. I know Whistling Diesel just bought one. I'm pretty sure it's a replica car, and he's doing like twin turbo kit on it from 316 speed. So yeah, it's gonna be a fast car, but it's cool just to have the like everything exactly how it was in the movie and jump it, do the burnouts, take it through fields. I mean, just have fun with it. That's what I think would be perfect. So those are my top three. So you got the Viper GTS, you have the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, and you have the Dodge 1970s Charger Dukes of Hazzard car. Um, a quick thing I want to get into before we get into the turbo debate. Tomorrow at noon, I'm going to be at Mid Atlantic Grand Prix for a car event. I believe it's a Toys for Tots event. Um, and that is going to be, we're going to be there from noon to 4. And they're going to be having, obviously, the go kart racing. So you guys can come out, race against me if you're local. It's in Newcastle, Delaware. It's a little bit, it's like a 40-minute drive for me, but we're going to go have fun, support Toys for Tots. I'm all about kids, especially having a daughter of my own. But come on out. If you guys would like to put a little wager in, I am all about putting a wager in. If you guys decide that you think you can beat me in it, I'm all up for a challenge. That's an even playing field. All the go-karts are the same. It's all about driver skill. So if you're in the area, you let me know. Come out to the event, and we'll throw down. We'll see what we can do. We'll see who's actually the best driver. Which I love that. Oh, I love that. I really hope people come out. I mean, there's already going to be a lot of people there, but if people come out specifically to race me, I will be extremely excited about it. Um, so apparently, what I'm realizing from last night, you guys can't see my actual full screen when I go Instagram live because I stream it through a laptop. So my actual full screen streams go on YouTube the day after. So obviously I can't answer your questions, but you can see everything that I'm putting up on the screen then because I can't do it all on my phone. So I have other pictures and stuff that pop up and all this stuff to make it look a little bit fancier and not as boring as just looking at me and a wall. Um, but now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes. Turbo versus supercharger. And if you, well, actually, let's see, before you jump into the turbo versus supercharger debate, what do you think about the new BRZ? The new BRZ, I like it. I like the fact that Subaru is making a rear-wheel drive car. Granted, that's not something they should do. Like historically, they shouldn't, because they're all about rally cars. Like the STI rally car. Obviously, I don't rally it. I don't think you could really take a stock STI from the dealership and go on a rally. So I think it's more like a you look like a rally car kind of deal. Um, but I mean, it's the same thing as like people that buy like Raptors. They they want to look like they have a rally truck, a dune truck, but it's really a Raptor's really not. I mean, you I guess you can street speed 717 did some jumps and stuff, but I wouldn't recommend it in a stock Raptor. Um, so same thing with the BRZ. Uh, I love how Subaru's going into the drifting area because that's what I think the BRZ is for. It doesn't really. It's not a high horsepower car. I think it's like 200 some horsepower. So it's not like gonna put you in your seat really, especially because they have all wheel drive. So it's probably it's not gonna send you back. Like the STI doesn't have that much horsepower, but it still puts you in your seat because it hooks and it has torque and it goes. Um, I think that the BRZ will be good. I think it'll be a good car. I think it'll be fun, but I don't think it will, shock the world. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, you got to look at the caliber of cars that it can compete with, right? So it's already not competing against a Mustang. It doesn't have the power. Um, it's already it's not competing with a Camaro. It doesn't have the power. I mean, you got to look at the cars that are selling in America specifically, because that's where most of us are. What car will that compete with? And I really don't like the. It reminds me of an S2000, which they don't even make anymore, so it's not really competing with that market. And there's no way it's competing with the Supra. There's absolutely no chance it's competing with the Supra. So I mean, I guess it's kind of like a Miata. I guess that's how I kind of see it. It's like a Miata remake, but a different brand. So it's a little compact car for drifting. It's fun. It's like it's sporty, but it's not gonna like blow your socks off. But I mean, you could probably. I mean, if you took that car and you like LS swapped it, I guarantee you that thing would be an absolute animal, and you'd never be able to keep tires on it. But that's one thing there. The Civic Type R, I'm all right. The Civic Type R, I get what Honda did. They brought it back as a hatch because the hatchback is obviously a lot of people love the hatch. If you with the hatchback, you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. You either love hatches or you don't. The hatchback body style looks cool. Um, the only thing I don't like about the Type R is I feel like they tried to copy the Subaru WRX and STI platform. That's what it looks like to me. Especially after owning an STI and currently owning one, when I see that I'm like, they're just trying to copy that. So, and it's not all-wheel drive. That's what I don't like about it. Um, Now my friend has one, and he says he absolutely loves it. Which I mean, I get it. Hondas don't break. That's the one thing you can say about Honda. Honda and Nissan stuff like they do not break. I mean, those cars you can put 200,000 miles on it, and you're just stretching the legs. Like it's just getting broken in, which is awesome. But I don't. The Type R, if they were going to compete against an STI, which is I think that's their market competitor, they should have went all-wheel drive, or they should have put way more power into it. Um, because on the street from a dig, I think the STI actually gets to jump, but the Type R will walk around it versus the stock STI. The Type R will walk around stock STI, but I think that has a lot to do with gearing. And but like if I mean STIs aren't meant for that though. STIs aren't drag cars, and if you buy one thinking that you're going to get a drag car out of it, I mean that's the wrong car. That's completely the wrong car. STIs are for back roads, for off roading, off roading, but they're mainly for back roads and taking turns fast. I mean, I love my STI. I can take turns at 80 miles an hour in Mexico because I don't do that in the United States because no turn is really a 80-mile-an-hour speed limit. Only do that in Mexico and on closed courses because I'm a stunt driver now, self-proclaimed. Um, but yeah, I mean the Type R is it's cool. It looks cool. I don't think I think they could have done a lot better with it. I mean, obviously Hondas can make power. All you got to do is tune them right, and you can make a ton of power with them. And they realistically like won't blow up that easily. So I mean, if you're in a market for a Honda and you want a new Honda, yeah, go Type R. But if you could really buy Civic Si and make it as fast with the same amount of money as a Type R is, you can actually make it way faster. But now we're gonna get into this debate. Hopefully you guys can see me on the screen. I don't think all this will fit on the live stream screen because it is on my computer. But the turbo versus supercharger debate, I am a turbo guy through and through. I think the power that you can make with the turbo versus supercharger is completely different. And I think a turbo is more suited to racing. Superchargers are awesome. You make instant power. It is crazy fast. And you can do a lot of burnouts and donuts. That's awesome. Instant power. Everybody's like, it's instant torque. It's instant torque. You can't beat one. You can't beat it. Well, there's this little thing called traction, which where we are in cars, in our technology, the only thing that's holding cars back now in this day and age is tires. So to be able to get the traction. So you can make 1,000,000 horsepower. That's fine. But you're not going to put that power down. Superchargers, they make that power so quick, it's instant. You can't get all that power down. You can't. You got to like ease into it. Whereas a turbo, you have the lag, which everyone's like, oh, turbo lag, that's the worst thing ever. When you're racing, that's honestly the best thing that can happen to you. Is say you're doing a dig, especially from a dig. Say your motor is pushing 600 horsepower, right? But your turbo, once you have your twin turbos or whatever, your actual full power, you're like 1,000, 1,200 plus. You don't want all 1,000 or 1,200 plus going instant because you're not going to keep traction. You're just not going to, especially in a rear-wheel drive car, which most cars are for the setup. So you're just going to spin, and your motor will get you out, and you'll probably lose the jump a little bit. But as soon as that thing spools up, you're gone. And now with technology, people that do like that have true drag cars, like true track drag cars, they're all switching turbo. They used to be nitrous. Nitrous used to run the game. It was nitrous all day, every day. If you were at the drag strip, everybody was using nitrous. But it's not that way anymore. Everybody's switching to ProCharge and not supercharge. They're switching to turbos because you can, once you build that boost, it's insane. It only climbs. It's nuts. I'm telling you that, in my opinion, turbo's the way to go. Now, I am seeing the comments, supercharger all day, especially the Dodge ones, the whine. I absolutely hate the whines. Now, if I owned one, maybe I would change my mind. I'd be like, oh, you know what, this is pretty cool and it sounds cool. I just like on the Hellcat, I don't like the whine. When I think of Hellcat, I think of like really mean, like something deep, rumbly, getting ready to blow the doors off. I don't think of like I don't think of that. I don't know. I just don't. But let me switch back. I guess I don't know, the quality's bad on this one. We'll switch back. Yes, now people do leave on full boost with a turbo, and but the thing is with turbos is, yes, they're building boost. They're not leaving the line on full boost. They are not, and that is the big thing with the turbos is. People that are like, they're on their two-step, right? They're getting ready to launch. Your two-step is not tacked out. It's not. Your boost is probably like cut in half when you're going to launch. So you might have some boost build up, and once you start building boost, it goes quick. Especially, depending on the turbo setup you have. But when they're on the line and they leave, if they're at half boost, it's going to add more power as they're going down and shift and give them more and more power. Supercharger, you put it to the floor and it's pretty much all it's got. I mean, it really doesn't have that much more to go. It's pushing all the boost it can to get that engine up to RPMs quicker. The turbos, it just steadily climbs now. And the way that they have turbo setups, like Calvo Motorsports with their Vipers, they have it as, they call it torque by gear, but same thing as boost by gear, where each gear you're in, they tune it and they put different maps on it to where you're increasing boost. So second gear out of a 2,000 horsepower car, second gear is like 1,200 horsepower, right? Third gear is 1,300. Fourth gear, 1,600. By fifth gear, you're at 2,000. You're there. Like, you are full on go. Superchargers, the way that they increase their power is by the belt. So you can't like be going down the road and just switch out a belt real quick, throw more power in. You can tune a turbo. You can add more power as you're going. Supercharger, once you put that belt in, that belt's all it's got. I mean, that's what it is. So that's how fast it's going to spool. Superchargers cook tires on a dig just because it dumps all the power. Exactly. It puts all the power down immediately. Immediate power. Whereas racing, and I mean, if you guys don't believe me, go ahead and look at some of these videos out there. The racing world, especially like roll racing, which is more what I do, it is all switching to turbos because turbos win races. I'm gonna copyright that. I'm gonna put that in a catchphrase. Turbos win races. That's what it's gonna be. TWR. Turbos win races. Patent. No one else can take it. If you do use it, it's like $1 million fine paid to me. Turbos win races. That's what I think. I mean, you just can't beat them. You cannot beat a turbo. And if I get like Street Outlaws, right? So we'll talk about that. Obviously, that show is, the cars are real, yes. Everything's a little bit edited for TV. But they're all switching to turbos. And these guys, their motors are over 1,000 horsepower. Just all on motor. And they were making 2,000 horsepower with nitrous. All of a sudden, now they're putting twin turbos on it, and they're making 3,000 horsepower. I mean, that's just how it is. Turbos are the way of the future. Let's see. Yep. So, Spotter in the comments, you literally stole the words out of my mouth. The Trackhawk all-wheel drive launches, nuts, absolutely nuts. But so like a Trackhawk, quarter mile, like Dodge, all their cars, they build them for quarter miles. That's it. Like once you hit top, like start climbing, I'd say probably up to like 130, 150, they start topping out. But turbos, they're still eating. They're still going. They're like, yeah, feed me more air. Feed me more air. And they're just continuously going up. That's my thing is that, yes, and a quarter mile was what Dodge made the Demon for example. The Dodge Demon was meant to be a quarter mile race car that you can drive on the street. That's what they cared about. And that's fine. But what I'm saying is for what I do, what I like is roll racing. Because roll racing, one, you can put more power down. Two, it's not really, I mean, no racing on the street is safe. Let's be clear with that right off the bat. No racing on the street is safe. But if you're stopping in the middle of the road to do a drag race, there's a whole lot more that can go wrong from sitting still and trying to put all that power down. That you have a lot more stuff that break. It's way harder on the car. And all it takes is like a few pebbles in front of you. You're done. Roll racing is normally done on the highway, so there's really not that many pebbles on the road. And usually it's pretty clear when you go out to do roll racing. I've heard. In Mexico, it's always clear, but people say in the United States it's pretty clear too. I don't know. I don't race in the United States. on highways or anything like that. Only do it on closed courses. But yeah, if it's a 0 to 60 or something like that, superchargers they have the jump. But the turbos will end up taking it. If it's like a half-mile event, turbos take it. For example, supercars. We'll talk about supercars. The McLaren brand, they don't have a V10. They don't have a V12. They run a V8. And when they put the V8s in these cars, that they compete with Lamborghini and everyone like that. McLaren performance is way better than a Lamborghini or Ferrari, anything like that. Like when you look at them competitively, like so the same, like we'll compare 720S to an Aventador. Okay, so they're about the same level. All right, a 720S will put bus links on an Aventador doing roll racing because of they have turbos, they have boost. The Lamborghini Aventadors are NA, which makes them sound amazing. And don't get me wrong, I love the Aventadors, but McLaren performance wise, based on all other platforms, they're ahead of the curve on performance because they build race cars. Now, granted, McLaren has a ton of problems with little things like door handles, like stuff like that, components not being like really tight in there. They'll wiggle loose, like on the dash or something like that, which sucks because for the money you're spending, you're getting way better performance through McLaren than you would be with Lamborghini or like let's go Ferrari. So that's the thing is McLaren is a true it's a true race car. McLaren's right. The new McLarens do not have a V12. They have a V8. I've heard McLaren has no soul. I'm not sure what that means. Rather build a car with soul like a Huracan to go fast than a bland car. Wow, that's a little deep. Okay, so you're not a McLaren guy. I got that. So I will say about Huracans. Huracans are probably the most bulletproof car on the market, supercar wise. R8s are basically they're practically the same thing as a Huracan. Same motor, same trans, same rear. Well, actually, same. Pretty much everything underneath is the same. The drivetrain, but the body styles are different and the price point's different. You can go. So obviously, like I don't have the money to go out and buy a Huracan right now or an R8, but for the price of a new Huracan, you can go out and buy an R8 and put a twin turbo kit on it for the same price of a stock Huracan. So now, obviously, if you guys know or don't know of, everyone's heard of UGR, everyone underground racing. They're blowing the game away. Obviously, they have a big feud, Lambo versus GTR, that is, worldwide in racing. Everyone knows that they hate each other. Everyone says Nissan GTR is the best thing ever, and UGR is like, no, Lambos, you can put the power down. Now, Sheepy Race, they're out of California, I believe, and they do R8s and Huracan. That's what they specialize in. They do a lot, but that's their specialty. And they're like friends with UGR, but I mean, obviously, they still compete. They're two different shops, so they obviously they want to have the fastest shop or the fastest car to get their name out there. And the stuff that they're doing with R8s now, I mean, R8s are, in my opinion, R8s are a little bit too classy for me. I don't fit that kind of thing. I feel like R8's kind of like you pull up to like a fine dining restaurant and stuff like that. Like only like 5-star Michelin star places. That's not me, but I mean the Huracan is obviously more like attention getter. Like, oh, look at the Huracan, look at the Lambo. Everyone knows what a Lambo is. Even if you know nothing about cars, you know what a Lambo is when you see one. But I mean, really, they're the most bulletproof cars on the market. So no, well, they're like emotionless is what I meant. That's what owners have told me at least. But I like the brand a lot actually. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying now. They're emotionless. As to the fact is, McLaren is like all computers. It's not raw driving. After test driving one, I can tell you they're insanely fast. They're awesome. They're great cars to drive. They're so much fun. But the car practically drives itself. I mean, you literally put it to the floor and it goes. That's it. That's how McLaren works. You put the gas pedal to the floor, it goes. If you have it in automatic mode, that's it. It keeps relatively straight compared to other cars. But the thing is is McLaren is rear wheel drive versus Lambo being all wheel drive. So it's crazy how like McLaren's 0 to 60 times and stuff like that, they're able to put down that power and compete with an all wheel drive car. When all of us know that are here, obviously you're somewhat in the cars. You know that an all wheel drive off the line should dust a rear wheel drive car every day of the week. Now with it relatively same power. Obviously, a 2,000 horsepower car is going to dust an all wheel drive STI off the line. We get that. We understand. But relatively same horsepower, all wheel drive should hook and book and be done. But McLaren's there. They're doing it. And it's emotionless. I get that. But I think it's emotionless because it's new. I think once it becomes a bigger brand and they do their fine tweaks, I think McLaren will really be up there. And the thing I like about McLaren, which I like and I don't like, if I was an owner, I wouldn't like it, but as someone that wants to buy one, if this makes sense, I like it. They depreciate like hotcakes. Like for example, a McLaren 12C came out over 200 grand. You can get them now. They came out in 2012 to I believe 2014. Now you can get them for like 80 grand. You can have a McLaren, which is a supercar, still fast. They're still extremely fast. Like 0 to 60 is like 2.9 to 3.2 and there. And it lost that much in value. Now, granted, if you buy a used McLaren, you're probably not going to lose any more value than what it's already lost. So I wouldn't go out and buy like a brand new one. I mean, granted, it'd be cool. Be like, oh, I just bought a brand new 720S. If you have the 400 and some $1,000, good for you, man. That's awesome. Way to spend it, and hope you enjoy the car. But I don't have that kind of money. I'll go for a used one and try to, you know, catch it when the depreciation's at the all-time low. So that way it only goes up, or it might like lose a couple grand in value, like a normal car. Not you drive off a lot, 50 grand gone. Like I mean, that's a lot. If I had that much money, I guess I wouldn't care, but that's a lot of money. Potential. Every car has a bit of potential depending on your personality. We are the ones that bring these cars to life, adding a bit of our souls into something you feel passionate about. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100% actually. And I think the biggest thing with cars is, for example, anyone can go out and buy an STI like mine, right? Anyone can go out and buy that. But the thing is, what I love about cars, it gives you a platform to express yourself and express, what you like and what you don't like, and you can show the whole world. And no matter if people hate it, love it, or hate it, doesn't matter. It's your car. Like with for example, my rap. People hate the wrap I have in my car. I get all the time. Why would you ruin that? Why would you do that to that car? I don't know, because it's mine. I like it. Whatever. I mean, same thing with any car. I mean, obviously, you have the purist out there, which is the two forms of car people. You have the purist who they want, low mileage, low VIN number cars. They want it to be perfect and historic and look beautiful. They just want it to be original, 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 which is cool. I get that. It holds their value. That's fine. But for me, I'm in the other group, which is everyone enjoys modifying their cars. When you can modify your car and make it your own, that it takes the car from being an object, like, oh yes, look, look at this beautiful car, to look at my car. I made this car what it is. That's mine. And that's what I love about cars is you can literally take it and make it whatever you want it to be within your budget, or maybe even out of your budget, depends on how much you're passionate or dumb, whatever you want to call it. for the cars, I love it. I love it. I mean, I love every kind of cars. I like, for example, I don't like cars. Me personally, I don't want a car that's like everybody talks about on bags or static, where it's on the ground scraping. You can't even go over a speed bump. That's not me. I like lowered cars, but I could not live the static life of being like half inch off the ground. That's just not me. But other people love it, and I think it looks cool. I think it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I would not drive that every day, if that makes sense. So that's the thing I like about cars is you make the car what you want it to be, which is awesome. If you guys have any more questions, we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. Go ahead, drop them in the comments. I'll answer as many as I can, and yeah, we'll get with that. But yeah, the Huracan's potential is awesome. But the thing I don't like about Huracans now is that they're like before. If you saw a Lamborghini, we'll say 5 years ago, you saw a Lamborghini, you were like, I just saw the one Lamborghini in the state. You're like, I've never seen another one before. Now it's kind of weird. You're starting to see more. You're seeing more supercars, that's awesome. People are making more money. They can afford it. That's great. I'm all about that. I'm all about buying more, but it's not like an exclusive club anymore. Where like supercars used to be, if you owned a supercar, you're top tier. Like that. That's it. I mean, you still are. I mean hypercars, but that's like the hypercars are the new old supercars. That makes sense. Um, but I mean, still, the Huracans still are awesome to look at. They're amazing cars, beautifully made. The carbon fiber is amazing. They run just absolutely amazing. Um, but they're starting to become more popular. That's like now Aventadors. Obviously, the doors go up and stuff like that, but they're more rare. So people are like, "Oh my gosh, look at the Aventador." Um, yeah, I agree. You have to pay more to be exclusive. Right now. Next level, we were talking about the topic got brought up within about Lamborghinis and McLaren and stuff like that, and then it got brought into how you pretty much make your car yours. How every car is theoretically doesn't have a personality until you take it over and you make the car yours, so you can build the car what you want. Like, for example, this is kind of a bad example. The Viper, obviously being my dream car, I know a lot about Vipers. That car is raw power. That's all it is. It's known as a killer. That's what it is known as. It is a death go kart. That's what it is. But I mean, there's people that have Vipers and they don't drive them like that. They are very respectful. They just like it because it's classic. They like it because it's manual. Um, Whereas obviously I want it because of the power. I want the raw thrill. I want everyone that I've talked to say Viper owners and Viper like enthusiasts are a different breed because they have a death wish. Exactly what you just said in the comments. It's a death wish. A Viper is literally the closest you can get to having basically just a motor, transmission, and tires. Like I mean, it's raw car, no electronics. That's why I want the old ones because it's literally nothing, no ABS, no traction control. It's all about can you drive, and if you can't, you're gonna die. And the thrill of that is, oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. It gets your adrenaline pumping. I'm an adrenaline junkie. That's why I love it. Uh, I like a junkie as in like I don't do drugs, but cars are my drugs. If that makes sense. Like I need a Viper so bad. Um, but that's why most people do like it is because of it being a raw power car. But the thing is, you got to respect it. So that's the thing that people don't understand with Vipers, and it gets me upset a lot. Well, not like crying upset, but it makes me like all worked up. Is it like people are like, oh, they're such bad cars. You can never drive them. You can't drive them in the winter. Yeah, you can. You can drive any car anywhere, but you gotta respect the car. You gotta respect the power. That's like people say, oh, you can't drive a Mustang in a snowstorm. Yeah, technically you can. If you know how to drive and you respect the power of the car and respect the road, you can get through it. Now, granted, if it's like 3 feet of snow on the road, you're not plowing through it. But you guys understand what I'm saying. A Viper, you can drive it. Anyone can drive a Viper. But it takes a mutual respect between the car, man, and machine, basically, and that is why it's so thrilling. It really is. Um, you guys have any more questions you want to put in the chat or anything else you want me to talk about real quick? This stream we're at like 42 minutes right now, so I don't want to go too long. Got some boxing to watch. Mike Tyson's fighting tonight. In case you guys aren't aware, his comeback fight is tonight, so I'm pretty excited for it. Can't wait. Not sure who's going to win, but we'll see. But another thing, let's see, off the subject, before the deadline for the STI, do you plan on adding more available entries? Yes, I did discuss the Super. I'll do a quick run over with it. Yeah, we're gonna add more the limit to the entries. We're gonna increase that because we did the multipliers, so it's kind of like not fair, you know. Like, cause say for example, like I saw one company this week did like 100 times entries for their car. It's like for every dollar you get 100 entries, but their entry amount is so low. People don't understand that. So if somebody spent like, so say you spend $10, right? That's 1,000 entries. Well, they're only allowing 500 entries a person. So you just spent all that money. The people that spent hundreds of dollars on that, and it doesn't matter. They're getting the same amount of entries. We're going to increase it so you actually get value with it. Granted, yes, you're still going to have the max amount of entries, but to be honest, guys, no one is sitting here going to drop like, oh, I'm spending $3,000 to win this car. That's not happening. Like, no one's going to be like, oh, I'm going to drop $30,000 to win this car. If you had the $30,000 to drop on it, you would just go buy the car. You would just go buy one. So this stuff is all about you guys having a chance to win the car, and that's what I like. So we're not going to let like someone spend $30,000. If they do, how dumb would you feel if you spent $30,000 on it and you didn't win, and knowing you could just go buy one? You'd feel so dumb. Now, granted, if you did win it and you saved yourself $3,000, I guess you'd be like, "Oh, I'm so smart." But if you lose that just because you were scared of spending the extra $3,000 to just buy the car brand new, that's stupid. That's stupid. So the main thing is it gives me a chance to give you guys a fair shot at winning this car. Next level, are you still in here? I can't tell who's in here or not. If you are still in here, yeah, we did go to the Supra. It is going to be. I said I liked it. I think they didn't really do the best job on it coming from the Mark IV. All the hype with it. I think they should have just remade the Mark IV, updated it a little bit. But I'm not the executive of that company. I have no control over it. So I guess they thought they were doing what they thought was right. I don't see it like that. If it would have been a Mark IV remake, if they would have updated like all the systems, like Apple CarPlay, stuff like that, then it would have been cool. But they changed the whole body style. It still looked good. They're still, especially with the Street Hunter kit on it, the wide body kit. But yeah, that's my take on the Supras. Will we get a notification whenever this happens, or will we have to check the official rules every now and then? I'll probably put out a notification about it. It'll probably be updated within the next week. So that'll be taken care of, so you won't really have to worry about it. But yeah, just DM me if I forget to put a notification out about it. Just DM me, and I'll let you know, or remind me, and I'll put a whole notification out to everybody about it. So to reiterate, the 5 times entries is done on Monday at midnight Eastern time. So it'd be like 4 hours and 12 minutes from now on Monday, whatever time zone you're in, just add 4 hours and 12 minutes to whatever time it is now. And on Monday, that's when it ends. Right? No. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's when the giveaway ends. So thank you all for watching. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next videos that we got going on. We got some more videos coming out for you pretty soon. Part 2 to the burnout meet. If you guys haven't seen that, or well, if you haven't seen part 1, go check it out on the channel. Make sure you give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up. It'd be awesome. Grow the family out more. But yep, 5 times entries to win my STI, which is right here, by the way, in case you guys can't see it. Win the STI. Take it home. I'm going to hand one of you the title, the keys, and you'll win it. As you guys can tell from the live stream, not that many people in here, so your chances of winning the card are really, really good compared to these other ones. These other giveaways that have like 100,000 entries, 100,000 people enter, it's like hitting a lottery to win. This is a small company, channel, whatever you want to call it. Your chances of winning are extremely high. Extremely higher than what it is from the other ones. So thank you guys for watching. Christmas drop, December 1st. But I'll see you guys next time. Make sure, keep up with the YouTube channel. I'll see you. Are you tired of having a boring car, but you want practicality and reliability? Follow me. This is my family car. 2019 Subaru WRX STI. And I'm giving it to one of you.